So I was thinking the other day about how children's fear of social development expands over time. And I was thinking about it because I was talking to a parent about the behaviour of their sort of 3 going on 4-year-old, and they were struggling with some of the behaviours the child is showing. And we're quite used to, as a society, we're quite used to this idea of what's commonly referred to as the terrible twos. And that is a child who is trying to gain control of themselves. They're trying to be in charge of what happens to them and for them, and they can become very emotional and very strident in their opinions about themselves. Most of us are primed for that, so most of us are ready for that. What we're less conscious of is this kind of next phase that seems to come in around 3 to 4, which parents can often find more challenging than 2, which is where children are trying to be in control of others. So they start trying to control their parents or their close contacts, their siblings, their friends, and it's almost like they've kind of got the hang of this, I'm in charge of me, and now I want to be in charge of everybody else as well. And that can cause quite a lot of conflict. And then the one that comes after that is where they want to be in charge of groups of people. So you start getting this social thing of, you can't play with us if you don't. And that tends to kick in between sort of 4 and 5. So you can sort of see the pattern where the child is just in control of themselves, and then they want to be in control of themselves and another person that's close to them, and then they want to be in kind of calling the shots in social situations and controlling groups of people. So it's this natural kind of expansion that happens. We tend to, as a society, have a fair amount of tolerance for the 2, even though we find it challenging. But when we hit that one that starts to come in at 3, or the one that comes in at 4 and 5, we have a lot more resistance to accepting that, because it looks like controlling behaviour or bullying behaviour or exclusive behaviour. I'd encourage you to think about it as the child practicing. So they're trying to figure out where their control is and where their control isn't. And although it is actually manipulation is something we use as adults a lot. We just don't call it that. So when we want to encourage a family member to view something positively, we'll put a spin on it. So we'll tell it in a certain way, or we'll present it in a certain way, because we're trying to control the reaction that person has. When, as an employer, I want my employees to be enthusiastic about something, I present it in a particular way as opposed to an opposing way, because I'm controlling, or I'm trying to control the response they have to what I'm going to suggest. So it's actually something we adults do a lot. We just do it very subtly. So we need to understand with small children, they're going to do it, but they're going to do it clumsily. So that's something we can talk about later, but I just wanted to kind of point out that process and the fact it's actually very natural.